I'm 76 years old. My name is Richard. My wife Margaret died 3 years ago. We were married for 51 years. And I need to tell you something that haunts me every single day. I never gave her the love she deserved. I was there. I provided. I was faithful. I did all the things a husband is supposed to do. But I never really loved her the way she needed to be loved. And now she's gone. And I can't fix it. And the regret is eating me alive. The early years, I met Margaret in 1968. I was 21. She was 19. She was beautiful. Genuinely beautiful. Not just physically, though she was that too, but her spirit, her kindness, her laugh. We got married in 1970. I was 23, fresh out of college, starting my career as an engineer. Margaret wanted to be a teacher. She'd just finished her degree. She was excited about her future. But then we got married. And then I got a job offer in another state. And Margaret came with me. She never became a teacher. She became my wife. And I didn't think twice about what she was giving up. The first few years were good. We were young. We were in love. We had energy. We'd go for walks. We'd talk for hours. We'd make plans. We'd dream together. Margaret would talk about maybe teaching someday, maybe going back to school, maybe doing something for herself. I'd nod, I'd say sure, someday. But I never actually helped her do any of it. When the children came, we had our first child in 1973, Sarah. Then Michael in 1975. Then Emma in 1978. 3 kids in 5 years. Margaret's life became about them, about me, about the house, about everyone else. And I let it happen. I encouraged it. Actually, I was working 60 hours a week, climbing the corporate ladder, making good money, providing. I thought that was enough. I thought that was what a husband does. You work, you provide, you give your family financial security. Margaret took care of everything else. The kids, the house, the meals, the laundry, the doctor appointments, the parent-teacher conferences, everything. And I barely noticed. I'd come home from work exhausted. I'd eat the dinner she made. I'd sit in front of the TV. I'd barely talk to her. On weekends, I'd work on the house or watch sports. Margaret would be taking the kids somewhere, managing their lives, doing everything. She'd ask me to help. I'd say I was tired. I'd say I'd worked all week. I'd say she had it under control. And she did have it under control, because she had no choice. The conversations we didn't have. Margaret would try to talk to me, really talk to me, about her day, about her feelings, about her dreams that were disappearing. I'd half listen, I'd nod, I'd say aha, while watching TV or reading the paper. She'd tell me she was lonely, that she missed having adult conversations, that she loved the kids but felt like she was disappearing. I'd say you're doing great, or that's just how it is with kids, or it'll get easier when they're older. I never actually listened, never actually heard what she was trying to tell me. She'd suggest we go on a date, just the two of us, get a babysitter, go to dinner, reconnect. I'd say we don't need to spend money on that, or I'm too tired, or maybe next month. Next month never came. She'd ask me to take a walk with her, just around the block, just to talk. I'd say I just sat down, or I have work to do, or you go ahead. She stopped asking eventually. The anniversary I forgot. Our 15th anniversary was in 1985. I forgot it. Completely forgot. Margaret had planned a nice dinner at home, made my favorite meal, put the kids to bed early, got dressed up. I came home from work late. I'd stayed to finish a project. I walked in, saw her dressed up, saw the nice table, and I didn't understand. "What's this?" I asked. "It's our anniversary," she said quietly. I'd forgotten. Completely forgotten. I apologized. I said I'd been busy. I said work was crazy. We ate the dinner. It was tense, quiet. Margaret cried that night. I heard her in the bathroom. I didn't go to her. I didn't know what to say, so I pretended to be asleep. That was the beginning of something breaking. The distance that grew over the next 20 years, the distance between us grew. We were living in the same house, sleeping in the same bed, but we weren't really together. We'd have conversations about logistics, about the kids, about bills, about the house. But we didn't talk about us, about our marriage, about our feelings. Margaret stopped trying to connect with me. She poured everything into the kids instead. Sarah, Michael, and Emma became her whole world because I wasn't interested in being part of it. I told myself this was normal. This was what marriage becomes. You settle into routines. The romance fades. You become partners, managing a household. But that's not what happened. We didn't become partners. We became strangers, living parallel lives. What I didn't see how lonely Margaret was. I didn't see how much she sacrificed for me and the kids. I didn't see how she lost herself in taking care of everyone else. I didn't see the sadness in her eyes when I'd come home and barely acknowledge her. I didn't see how much she needed me to actually see her. Not as my wife, not as the kids' mother, but as Margaret, as a person, as a woman with dreams and feelings and needs. I didn't see any of it, because I wasn't paying attention. When the kids left, Sarah left for college in 1991, Michael in 1993, Emma in 1996. Suddenly it was just me and Margaret. Empty nest. I thought things would get better. I thought we'd reconnect. I thought we'd have time for each other now. But we'd been strangers for so long. We didn't know how to be anything else. Margaret tried. She really did. She'd suggest trips, activities, date nights. I'd agree half-heartedly. We'd go through the motions. But there was no real connection. We'd sit across from each other at dinner with nothing to say. 25 years of marriage, and we had nothing to talk about. I'd go back to work, stay late, work on projects, anything to avoid the uncomfortable silence at home. Margaret joined a book club, started volunteering at the library, made her own life. She stopped waiting for me to be part of it. The diagnosis of... In 2018, Margaret was diagnosed with ovarian cancer. She was 67. I was 73. Stage 3. Already spread. The doctor said we'd caught it late, that it was aggressive, that treatment would be difficult. I was shocked, terrified. How had I not noticed she was sick? Because I wasn't paying attention. I never paid attention. Margaret went through chemotherapy. It was brutal. She was sick, weak, losing her hair, in pain. And suddenly, I saw her, really saw her, for the first time in decades. I saw how strong she was, how brave, how she faced this horror with grace. I saw what an incredible person she was, and I realized I'd taken her for granted for 50 years. The last year, Margaret lived for 18 months after the diagnosis. 18 months that I wish I'd had 50 years earlier. I retired, I stayed home, I took care of her, I cooked for her, I held her hand, I sat with her, I talked to her, I listened to her, really listened for the first time. She told me about her life, about her regrets, about her dreams that never happened. She talked about wanting to be a teacher, about how she'd given that up and never got it back. She talked about feeling invisible, about how I'd looked right through her for decades. She talked about how lonely she'd been, how much she'd needed me to see her, to value her, to love her properly. And I cried. I apologized. I told her I was sorry, that I'd been a terrible husband, that I'd wasted our marriage. She held my hand. She said it was okay. She said she forgave me. But I could see in her eyes it wasn't okay. The damage was done, and now there was no time left to fix it. When she died, Margaret died in June 2019. She was 68. I was there, holding her hand, telling her I loved her. But it was too late. Way too late. She died knowing I'd finally seen her, but also knowing it had taken her dying for me to pay attention. That's what haunts me. That's what I can't forgive myself for. What 76 feels like. I'm 76 now. Margaret has been gone for 3 years. I live alone in the house we shared for 49 years. Every room has memories of her, of the woman I took for granted, of the wife I never appreciated until it was too late. I see her in the kitchen, making dinners I barely thanked her for. I see her in the living room, trying to talk to me while I ignored her. I see her in the bedroom, crying quietly while I pretended to sleep. And the regret is crushing. The things I wish I'd done, I wish I'd listened to her. Really listened. Not half listened while doing something else, but actually stopped, looked at her and heard what she was saying. I wish I'd gone on dates with her. Real dates, where I was present and interested and made her feel special. I wish I'd helped her go back to school, helped her become a teacher like she wanted, supported her dreams instead of just expecting her to support mine. I wish I'd told her I loved her, not just said it, but shown it. Every day, in big ways and small ways. I wish I'd noticed her, seen her, appreciated her. I wish I'd treated her like she mattered, because she did. She mattered more than anything, but I never showed her that. What I learned too late. Here's what I finally understand at 76. Your wife is not there to serve you. She's not there to make your life easier while you ignore hers. She's a person with dreams, with needs, with feelings. And if you don't value her, if you don't appreciate her, if you don't actively love her, you're wasting the most precious thing you have. I had Margaret for 51 years, and I wasted almost all of them. I thought providing was enough. I thought being faithful was enough. I thought just being there was enough. It wasn't enough. And she needed to be seen, to be heard, to be valued, to be loved actively, not passively. And I failed her, completely failed her. My warning to you, if you're married right now, if you have a wife or a partner, please listen to me. Don't do what I did. Don't take her for granted. Don't assume she'll always be there. Don't wait until she's dying to finally see her. Listen when she talks. Put down your phone. Turn off the TV. Look at her. Hear what she's saying. Go on dates. Real dates, where you're present and engaged and making her feel special. Support her dreams. Help her be more than just your wife or your kid's mother. Help her be herself. Tell her you love her. Show her you love her. Every single day. Because one day she'll be gone. And you'll be sitting where I'm sitting. Alone. With nothing but regret. The visits that don't help. My kids visit sometimes. Sarah comes by once a month. Michael and Emma less often. They're kind. They check on me. They bring groceries. But our relationships are distant because I was a distant father. I was too busy working, too tired, too checked out. I failed Margaret, and I failed them. They don't say it, but I know they saw how I treated their mother. They saw me ignore her, take her for granted, make her invisible, and they lost respect for me. I don't blame them. The empty house. Every night, I sit in this house alone. I eat dinner alone. I watch TV alone. I go to bed alone. And I think about Margaret. I think about all the dinners where I barely spoke to her. I think about all the evenings where I ignored her to watch TV. I think about all the nights where we slept in the same bed but might as well have been strangers. And I would give anything, anything, to have one more day, one more hour, one more conversation where I actually paid attention, where I actually loved her the way she deserved. But I don't get that chance. My final message: I'm 76 years old. My wife died 3 years ago, and I never gave her the love she deserved. I was there, but I wasn't present. I provided, but I didn't connect. I was faithful, but I wasn't loving. And now she's gone, and I can't fix it, and the regret is unbearable. Don't do what I did. Love your wife, actively, intentionally, every single day. See her, hear her, value her, appreciate her, before it's too late, because it will be too late, sooner than you think. I'm Richard. I'm 76 years old, and I took my wife for granted for 51 years. Don't make my mistake.